Hello, everyone, and great to see you all again. This time with my friend Tejas. Really cool. Looking forward to this new format again. We started this last week, and the next week already is going to be with even more guests and new structures, new formats. So, in the chat, always let us know what kind of new structures and formats you want. And yeah, really nice meeting all of you. First of all, let us know where you guys coming from and if you have any questions. Uh, I know that there's like a 20-30 second delay, so I learned from the last week already not to wait to get some replies here. So I will also just move on, and then in the meantime, talk about the structure for this section now. We will talk about our learnings from organizing, no, from actually participating in hackathons. No, I'm organizing. Maybe you will soon also organize hackathons. Let's see, man. But from participating in hackathons and how it really changed our lives. I can talk for myself, for my story, which I will share here as well. This has been a really big influence in my career, in my life. I joined dozens of hackathons, probably 30, 40 plus, I don't know how many years ago. And I want to talk about one like kind of like very like interesting experience that I had that hopefully kind of can serve you as an inspiration as well, and sharing my key learnings and how this guy came out as a winner at XRCC and now with 100K plus in funding from Meta, which is just like a so cool and inspiring story. So very looking forward to hearing this one. For this session, really like by the end of the stream, you will know exactly how to turn your next hackathon project. So we are actually, fun fact, right now at Reality Hack. There we go. Cheers, guys. I'm here. I'm also judged, by the way. Really looking forward to this one. So if you're listening from Reality Hack right now, actually, I think that's double, triple valuable for you. Because by the end of the stream, you will know exactly how you can turn your next hackathon into like real opportunities and really like grow for your professional and your personal life. And really for me, like how do you manufacture your own luck? I think that's kind of like really what nails it for me, manufacturing my own luck, because it has been insanely positive for me. And that is really what I want to talk about. So it's story time. Again, like I will start with I don't know, 10-ish minutes with my story, my learnings out of this, and then we will go to your story, kind of like discuss a little bit, kind of the similarities. I'm the old guy here. My story is 10. My story is like 10 plus years ago. I think it was like 2013, if I'm not wrong. So 13 freaking years. It's insane. But really, like sharing these similarities on this one, and then, of course, as always, we will have a Q&A session, so you can ask all of your questions to us. We are happy to help you out and like give you tips and inspiration in how it can be helpful for you as well. So, story time. Back in 2013, 2014, I'm not 100% sure. I was a student at FU Berlin. So, I was studying computer science. And that was really my very beginning of my journey. Didn't know too much about coding, didn't know too much about anything, to be honest. And I just liked making games. So, I did some Unity, of course, back then, and joined this hackathon. And I wanted to build something really cool. And that was actually so much fun. I think this kind of hackathon also ignited my passion and my love for programming, of course, for Unity, for in that time making games. So this was all like pre VR, pre AR. Of course, like 2013 in Germany, we didn't have any of that. So for me, it was like all focus on games, of course. And yeah, I joined this hackathon. I created this really, I think, really cool game. I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes also how it looks. And like you can kind of see a video of my trailer that I built, I don't know, 2015 probably. But yeah, joined this hackathon, spent like a whole night, typical hackathon fashion, into this project. And unfortunately, I didn't win. I didn't not only not win, but also didn't get to the finalists, didn't get any positive words or whatever. People like, what the fuck is this? So I was like kind of sad. I was like, oh man. But I really like this project actually. Again, like this really cool mini game. Actually, before I move on, I think we can actually show you now the end result. Ashra, you are managing this one. Oof, I'm getting nostalgic when I
That's
see this.
awesome. That's so
I
cool.
played so much of this game. Yeah, of course. But yeah, I mean, this game had like the full picture. We had a dedicated store. You could actually like monetize it. We had a global high score. Like that was my first kind of like big thing. But yeah, spent many months. But that was not the hackathon project, by the way, which actually leads me to how my journey was, because um, the first iteration was like very crappy, like none of this. Um, s- I didn't win the hackathon, but I still really like this project. So what I did, and I think that's like one of the key lessons that I want to share. I really believed in this project, and that meant that I kept working on this project for 6 more months. Like all the time. I actually didn't go to uni anymore. Just was working on this project. We even had a dedicated update Wednesday. So every Wednesday I went to uni, showcased all of the updates of this project to the whole, to all of my friends and everything. And that then kind of like got me the opportunity to showcase my project at a Microsoft competition actually. So that was really interesting, because this was like a more polished project by then, and turned out that out of all Germany, I got into the finals of this. So we were like 3 finalists. Like all of the others were like senior level game design students and everything. I was like, this dude just learned Unity. But again, I was very dedicated in kind of like pushing on that one. And I think the one thing that I also want to kind of give you guys as a really important lesson is I was for some reason the only one who did like a live demo of the project. I don't know why the hell most of these guys did actually a like a PowerPoint presentation or some videos or something like this. It makes no freaking sense. You have the game already or the project, whatever it is, and then you show slides. I'm like, what the hell? So of course it's more risky. Things can go wrong, terribly wrong. Just see Meta Connect. Um, but but it's much more engaging. It's much more fun actually. So I presented my project, and yeah, it turned out that we actually won the first prize, or I won the first prize on this one. I think I even have. Let me actually see if I can share my screen. I should have a photo of this one. Yeah, I do. So let me actually again, like that's live, so it's not perfectly executed here. That was mini me a bunch of years ago. There we go. Look at my freaking haircut.
Aw.
I don't know. I was probably 20 or something like this. I don't know anymore. But yeah, a long time ago, we actually took home this thing, and that really had a significant impact on my life, because first of all, it gave me a bunch of confidence. Like just like, okay, I lost this first hackathon. I was like, okay, everybody was like, what the fuck is this shit? Because it looked also much worse, the first version. But kept working on this. I was like, hey, this is actually a good project. I really, it's a lot of fun and makes sense. Kept polishing it. I went to a bunch of events, met a lot of people that helped me actually on the project as well, which is cool. I got a sound designer who made the music. I got a artist who made the arts, of course, all of the graphics, and spent a lot of time. And that kind of like was for me, okay, cool. If you have something where you believe in, maybe for you it's the same with Infamy, and after this event you keep pushing, you can actually use this project not only to like try to publish it to the store. That's like one milestone. But actually, what I would suggest you is to also showcase it to different events, bring it to a meetup, showcase it at conferences, bring it to other competitions, for example, and so on. And for me, that was kind of like, okay, eye-opening moment, because like one very, very simple example. I had this game then on my phone, and went to a bunch of meetups and events and everything. I was literally showcasing it to everybody. I was like, hey, I made this game, you wanna play? I just like took my phone and dropped it in their hands, and they just started playing. And that's one of those guys was like, hey, dude, do you need a job? I'm like, oh yeah, why not? Like, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, we do Unity development. And that's how I got my very first Unity job. I was just at a random party, talking to random people, pushing my phone to their hands, and they was like, hey, you want to work at our company tomorrow? Because there was a funded game studio. And that's how I just got my first job, by really thinking about, okay, taking all of these pieces, like having the project, going to events, polishing the project, and then talking to people and sharing it with them. And for me, that was like really kind of my golden ticket, because I used it so much for to get other jobs, to get introduced to like people at Microsoft, to then being one of the very first people in all Germany who had access to the HoloLens, for example, like bridging it to XR. And that was like kind of like my eye-opening moment. And I think you have like a similar story to this one as well. So really the key learnings that I want to share here is, I think for me it was, okay, keep working on promising projects. Again, I went to 30 plus hackathons. I have like so many projects, a bunch of projects, but this one really like kind of was stuck in my heart, because I mean, Super Wall Jump, look at this cool name and the cool concept and everything. It was so nice. Of course, I'm biased. I liked it a lot. But the other thing that is also really, really critical is building the project is only one little piece of the puzzle. Because after all of this, in quotes, massive success, the hackathon, blah, 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 the competition, I actually published it to the store just to figure out that, if you publish a thing to the store, nothing really will happen. So nobody bought it. I made like €1 maybe on this freaking game, or maybe 10 euros. I don't even know anymore, but not even enough to eat lunch. So that was like, okay. There's like many other things, which is of course like sales, marketing, promotion, um, meeting partners, like a bunch of things. And I think this is something that you should also have on your mind. You can use these events like hackathons or any conferences also really to kind of like manufacture your own luck, because you run into people. I mean, right now, anybody who is here right now, I mean, since we are live, who is at Reality Hack, there's like such a insane density of amazing people. It's crazy. You can't even walk like 2 minutes uh, before meeting into somebody who's like really freaking awesome. And many people who will be very awesome in the next couple of years. So there's like so much raw talent and so many OGs also, that is just incredible. I think the people that you meet here or at XRCC, by the way, or other events, are long-term partners, friends, maybe people who become your employer, maybe your co-founder. Like really take the opportunity to kind of like connect to people as well, instead of just like logging in and not doing anything and not talking to people. Which leads me to the last point, like staying in the community long term. I mean, like you have been at RealityTech for many years, I think, after winning all of those. Now joining as a mentor,
Yeah.
which is really cool. It's my first time at RealityHack. And I think this is something where I'm very, very excited for the next couple of days, and seeing how this kind of evolves. So that, like my story again, like I'm now the old guy apparently. That was like 10, 13 years ago. But how does it work today? And that's where this guy comes in. Teja said like a similar playbook for from XRCC, which is our hackathon, kind of like in quotes the reality hack equivalent in Europe. Just our own version, of course. But from this project, getting funded by Meta with 100,000 US dollars, not euros. And I think that is like so freaking inspiring. And I would love to hear it. And I think everybody here would love to hear it. How do you do this? What goes in your mind? What is your key learnings, and what do you want to share with the community?
Oh my God, Dinesh, that was honestly so inspiring, such an inspiring story. Um, you mentioned like where I was before XRCC, um, and honestly, my first XRCC, my first like hackathon with Immersive Insiders was XRCC, the design challenge that happened in 2024. Well, about me before that, because I think that your story is so inspiring. I was a business and marketing major in college. I did not know how to code. I actually hated coding, but I loved making games. I made games using Game Maker, using like this drag and drop interface, and I made games that way. And I used like during final season, during the stress of like studying, I actually just went ahead and made games to like almost relax and like kind of do something different, do something creative. And so that's where that kind of started. And then I really started doing VR in 2016. My first reality hack was in 2017, and before it was called Reality Virtually. I still have like all the stickers on my PC.
It's good. Also, a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. So when you say you're old, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I feel like a dinosaur as well. But really, I got into the space and I continued to be in the space because I loved VR, I loved XR, I love like just like how it was evolving, where it was evolving, the companies that were being involved with everything. And so when XR Design Challenge came around, I almost did not join. There was a teammate, Alice, who reached out to me because she saw something on my LinkedIn, being like, "Hey, we need a developer. I know you developed some things. Do you want to be part of our team?" And I
Good
almost,
job, Alice.
I don't thank you, Alice. I appreciate that. And I almost said no, but like. Because I was at a previous hackathon by Meta and we lost. I'm like, oh, I don't. Maybe it's not going. Maybe VR and MR is not for me. And then we ended up with not only Alice and I, but several other very talented team members, Annalise, Sam, and Mary, and Hagar. We all created this application called Creta, and it's a mixed reality pottery assistant application where you put on your VR headset and then you actually can make ceramics using real clay. And so that we submitted that project to XRCC Design Challenge 2024. We got recognition for both our trailer and our application and our shapes prototype.
Yeah, you won like triple. I think you won like a lot.
So we did. We all did awesome, and that kind of kickstarted everything for me. We went to AWE with Creta, and the following month after AWE, this past summer, was XRCC Berlin.
Yes.
And then with my amazing teammates Lucas, Nadia, and Sam. Sarah. We developed Inkfini, which is a music education mixed reality application where you can like tap notes on this like virtual staff and compose your own music, and also extract sounds from your environment by like pinching, holding, or like kind of tapping with this like MX stylus pen, which we used for the XRCC Berlin hack. And so it's just like an interesting trajectory. Like for all these experiences, the teams were amazing, and I think being through these hackathons, I've learned a lot of things. And the first thing is that it's always nice to win, but winning isn't everything. Because the number one lesson I've learned from all these hackathons is that the hackathons are amazing, but they're temporary. The friendships that you make at these hackathons are going to stay with you for life. And that happens for the people that you're hacking with. People you're hacking in the same like cohort, like so at the same event, as well as the organizers like yourself. So I think it's really important to like stay part of the community, and whether you won or not, or had a good time or had a great time, just keep at it and stay part of the community. I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I've had, and that has that positive mindset has kind of shifted how I think about hackathons, and it definitely has impacted my journey.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think like you nailed it really, really well. It's also combining with what I said earlier, is that for me, like meeting all of these people, then helping me also with my project and building these like lifelong friendships. I think that is like, for me, one of the biggest reasons coming to those events. But yeah, I mean, how was it for you then? So you basically you won XRCC with Infinity, and what happened next? Because I think that's like one of the critical things with hackathons, right? Like you have like all of this momentum, all of this energy during this short time. If it's online, maybe a little bit longer, and then you have like a nice prototype. But what happens then? I think that is like really where many people kind of like lose the focus, but not you guys.
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean by like the project loses steam because like, everyone's tired, everyone's just like saying
exactly.
that,
It's like all in for a couple of days.
yeah,
It's like
no,
very dense, and it's
I've-
like, what now?
I totally get that. Two things happened. Some months after Infinity, there was an opportunity in Germany. There was an XR awards ceremony in Germany or some award show, and some of the team members were like, "Okay, we won Infinity. There's this award thing in Germany. I think
right?
Next Reality. Yes,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
was a judge there as
You
well,
were a
by the
judge.
way.
Yeah, you were a judge.
Yeah,
And
okay.
which is awesome. I'm so glad you're so part of the community like that. And so we actually developed our application a bit more at Next Reality. And we didn't get placed or anything. We just
I think you became finalists. Maybe I'm not sure anymore.
I actually forget. Maybe we were finalists, but we didn't move on to any kind of other recognition. That's totally fine. But we did a good amount of work to polish up our prototype, to add some more gameplay features, to make sure stuff was working. I think stuff was a bit janky during the XRCC Berlin, which is definitely normal. And then when the second thing was the opportunity to be part of the Meta Start Developer Program, Meta Start Developer Competition.
Yeah,
there we
exactly.
go. And so for that competition, existing projects needed to have a substantial update. And so we had like something that was working. We were still using the stylus, the MX Pen stylus, the MX Ink. And one of our teammates, Lucas, was like, I think we have, he was cooking an idea that I actually didn't know about. And maybe he was like tinkering with it in the back of his head, but what he did was like, he had this idea of like almost enhancing how you extract sounds from objects around you using hand tracking. And so our team kind of came together and focused to switch our input modality from the MX stylus to hand tracking exclusively. So almost the entire application was rebuilt with hand tracking in mind.
Interesting. Also to like just reach many more people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. And like, that hand tracking was always the goal. Because we always want to publish this thing
Exactly.
for real. I just remembered the third thing that happened, and that was we were invited to United XR. And we had to show off a working demo at United XR at the booth, at the builder's booth, the builder stage. So there were three things that like kind of led up to everything.
It's like the XRCC, then the AEE builders program from before,
yeah,
the US,
and the XRCC, and now UNXR, and then MetaStart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the vision, like bridging this all together, really, like all year round, right?
Yeah, and so like, the thing is that we had to build something regardless. To show off at United XR, because I feel like everyone was excited to know what we were building, and it was janky at the time. So like we need to really lock down this hand tracking. We need to lock down these new features, and so
it's also cool that those deadlines give you kind of like more like energy again. Like you're like, okay, at this date we need to have something to show.
Yeah.
This date we need to present. This date we need to submit for the awards.
Yeah.
So you kind of like create these mini hackathons for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, actually.
Yeah, no, like. You're right. It definitely pushed us to have something like functional and working and good, and quite literally, like I think the deadline for like when we were presenting the Infinity at United XR, and the deadline for the Meta Start Developer Competition was like the Meta Start Developer Competition was the next day, and so when we showed off Infinity on the stage and had people tried it. I got a lot of feedback, and I went back to my apartment, coded it, and then came back to United XR for the parties, and then went back to my apartment to code again in time for the deadline. And a lot of our team members sort of did that too. Lucas also did an awesome job with
That's really
the
cool
plugging
to
thing.
hear, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so a lot of like in addition to that, I was working on a separate project for the Meta Start developer competition
Mhm.
that I that didn't place anything, but which was fine. But it was like this idea where you could like circle something on your Meta Quest and it could sell it on Facebook
Yeah, I've
Marketplace
seen
for
this,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. That didn't place in that's I mean that's fine, but the fact that we got anything done within
Mhm.
such a short amount of time was crazy. And I know Lucas and Nadia were also busy traveling and doing a lot of things. Lucas especially with his own like projects.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a crazy time. I think the thing that has stuck with me is like you're sometimes people like us, and I'm sure there's obviously people in the community that are just so busy, they have so much work to do, and so you can't do everything. Like you
Mhm.
almost have to scale your ambitions down. You
Yeah,
almost have to
100%.
scope it down,
Yeah.
and so that makes you very very focused on like, okay, I have 2-3 hours, maybe like whatever hours in the airport, a layover in the airport or whatever,
Mhm.
to like focus on this one thing that needs to be done for this very specific deadline.
Mhm.
And so like I feel like that that like work schedule, that like almost like way of life has sort of trained me to be super focused
Mhm.
and understand like what matters when it comes to a project and maybe what can be left for later.
Mhm.
And so that also like that also is very hackathon-y. Like you know like when I think of hackathons projects, I think of three things:
Mhm.
functionality,
Mhm.
magic, and promise.
Mhm.
It has to work. It has to be a little bit magical, so it has to be something that no one's ever seen before in
Mhm.
terms of uniqueness.
Yeah, it should not be like a repeated thing of like something I've like seen like 100,000 times.
Yes, exactly. And like it can be super polished, but that thing has been done before in other places.
Mhm.
So like you know like I think the cool thing is like to be a bit magical, and for us the magic with Infinity was really the extraction
Yeah,
sound
that
part.
was really unique.
Yeah.
Also about it. And the packaging, the trailer was
The trailer-
phenomenal. Like
Nadia
it was so
Nadia
good,
and Sarah
man.
did an amazing job with the trailer.
I think that is like a really, really unique thing. Like also Creda. That's kind of
Creda,
the
yeah.
theme with your projects also. That the trailers are, the whole packaging is like phenomenal, which is really freaking helpful to also get the attention from others and kind of like get the visibility and get the shareability and everything. It's like it aligns perfectly with the concept of building public, right, which I talk about a lot. And I think that is like also one way that, or one like thing that you guys did that is outstanding compared to many others. Having a really, really good packaging and then just like showing it off everywhere. Like, dude, I've
Yeah.
seen like Infinity in so many meta trailers or some other
Yeah.
trailers or
Yeah.
like some other like reviews. I think it was even in the latest AWE video. I saw like a snippet
Oh
of
yeah, that's right. Or you mentioned it.
yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
So I think that is like, I mean, why is it? Because you have a really good trailer. I think that's why focusing on the whole part outside of this just a project is also very, very helpful actually.
Yeah, no. And you know, it was at hackathons that you really hosted that I
Mhm.
learned more about trailers and
Oh,
packaging.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like very, very strong on this one, like strongly opinionated. I think we had like the highest rating actually. We had like 6 judging criteria, and I mean the cool thing is if you organize a hackathon, I can make the rules, so that's pretty nice. I can decide what I focus on, and I was like, hey, we will have 30% of the entire rating is trailer actually, or is the packaging.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was like the highest rating was for the packaging actually, and we also like came up with the concept of like a packaging workshop and like really teaching everybody how do you make a good visibility project basically, which mostly is the video, because nobody will test out your application before they haven't kind of like been convinced by something, and this something usually is a video. Of course, good photos can also help, but like having a video is like such a nice way to get people in the door. And that is why, especially for XR, like you need kind of like the kind of the building blocks basically. Like you have the description, what is this thing? You have some photos, okay, cool, and then you need a short, very important short video, which is also where we
Yes.
disqualified everybody who was like longer than a minute or like a minute and a half. We just like not accepted. And I think that those type of things are so important, especially in nowadays like attention span economy anyways.
I know. Oh my god. Well, you know, it's so interesting that you talk about the judging criteria for your own hackathons,
Mhm.
because like for something like the MIT Reality Hack,
Mhm.
you can create a video, but what matters a lot is like your like pitch, like your physical pitch presentation,
Mhm.
and like you don't really need to create a video. It's just really a demo and like maybe a slide deck for
Okay.
problems and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And like when it came to your hackathons, I was okay creating videos before your hackathons,
Mhm.
and there were some designers on the teams that I was part of that did such good job of creating videos, and I learned from how they create and how they like craft that story
Mhm.
and like craft like almost craft a narrative that includes a problem,
Yes.
solution, and like but glues it in a very fun, casual
Exactly.
way. And really that I didn't know about that. And but working with a lot of my teammates, I got to know how important that was.
Mhm.
And thankfully, the trailers that my team created resonated with you, which is so awesome to hear about.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Cool, man. So what were the kind of your key takeaways, like your biggest learnings from your journey? Like one new, hold on, before I go on, I want to hear yours first.
Okay, well, I'm so excited to hear yours.
Mhm.
I think, my God, there are a lot. One thing I mentioned was that hackathons are temporary, friendships are a lifetime.
Mhm.
Be part of your community and be a kind and nice person. It sounds very simple and it sounds like very cliche, but when you're in a hackathon, in a competitive environment,
Yeah,
sometimes it's easy
can
to
be
forget
stressful.
that. Yeah, and it's very stressful.
Yeah.
And so that was a good learning experience because I definitely wasn't always like this. I was a very different person because I started almost 10 years ago. Like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second is to I think it's to focus when you're in a hackathon specifically, and even in a project, focus on something that you're really passionate about,
Mhm.
or sort of like passion adjacent. For Infinity, like I composed music as a kid,
Okay.
and so did Lucas. Like we were sort of musicians,
Oh, yeah.
and that struggle of learning music when we were trying to learn music kind of bled into Infinity.
Yeah, that is a really, really good point, actually.
Yeah. And same with Krita. Like one of our teammates was really into pottery, but found it very difficult to take those lessons in the pottery studio and practice at home. Just as an example. And so like that struggle, that like very personal
Taking real
thing.
problems and then figuring out how to solve them.
Exactly. And it was very personal for all of us. It wasn't like pottery, yep, let's go.
Yeah,
Like
like a
that kind of
checklist.
thing. Yeah.
Like how big is the market for pottery?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like, dude.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
like it was something that started personal and it spread to the rest of
Exactly.
our team. And I think like focusing on those things, like things that like you genuinely want to solve, will organically create a better project.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's one of the other takeaways that I learned.
Cool.
How about yourself, please?
Yeah, I mean, like one takeaway that I kind of got from listening to your journey and story, which is I think like very, very fascinating, is kind of like taking the project that you built during a hackathon and then having these like multiple milestones and checkpoints. I think that was so cool to see. Again, like XRCC was in June last year, and then I believe the submission for the next reality content, the next reality, what was it again? Yeah, the contest exactly.
Yes.
Was in July, August, or something like this. Then in fall we had the meta competition, and then in December we had United XR. So every few months you had like a new checkpoint to just like kind of keep the momentum alive, like from this checkpoint to this checkpoint to this checkpoint. The cool thing is there's a bunch of other awards you also could have then submitted your project, which is even more motivation. And then like once you get the momentum running, I mean, now you can now take freaking Infinity and like submit it everywhere, which is of course what makes sense, because that is like, I think that there's like a lot of similarities in film. Like if you have a really good film, you just like submit it everywhere. You get even more proof. You have kind of like this snowball effect. like this succeeds because of this succeeds, and it gets even better, and then it gets better because it gets even better. It's kind of like a really strong upward spiral, and I think that is like something that hopefully you guys are seeing now also by having this like mega big thing with Meta getting the 100K. Just gets a lot of attention from also maybe Snap, Google, and some of the other companies. And by succeeding there, it gets even more, and then submitting into awards even more. And that's kind of like a really nice upward spiral that can happen from one small thing. I had like a smaller version of this with Super Wall Jump, but for me, the biggest thing, I mean, my personal like biggest leverage, unfair advantage, success thing was my content. I happened to make content at the right time with the XR stuff. That was 2017, 2018, when there was like nobody doing XR tutorials. So that was kind of like my cheat code, and that snowballed like crazy as well. So I think like figuring out your milestones in, okay, I now have this project, I think it's really cool. If you don't think it's cool, if you don't like it, if you're not passionate about it, then just scrap it and go build a new one. I think that's the magic out of it. Like out of 20, 30 projects, I took Super Wall Jump to kind of like commit into. And I think that is something where you're like, okay, then you can submit it to these like different types of events. You can bring it to meetups. You can talk to freaking publishers. I don't know. You can. There's so many things you can do with this because you have a functioning prototype that actually has some sort of credibility. I mean, as we grow with our brand, XRCC, winning at XRCC will mean more and more and more. It's the freaking biggest hackathon in the world if we do it online. So that means like out of 3,500 people, you are the first place. So that also has some weight, hopefully, and will help you to snowball even further. I think that is like really nice seeing how you described it, like jumping from this to this to this to this. And I think that is like something where I want to see, okay, how can we bring it also to our community with our events? So yeah, thank you for the idea, man.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, again, let me know if I'm holding the mic right.
Mhm.
But I mean, God, like, I think that those milestones, as you mentioned, again, really pushed us. But also, like, it was really like when you have like an awesome team. Sometimes like you're trying to find opportunities to work with them again, and this is just a great opportunity to be like, okay, we have an idea, we know like what your skill set is and what my skill set is, like let's do this. Like we're not trying to have full time, like we're not trying to like work on this full time, but just enough so that we can have a great demo at AWE, United XR, Builder Stage, talk about our product, like get our product out there, like at AWE and Builder Stage, something that I don't think you speak highly like enough of that you give to us is like the investors at each of these events, AWE and Builder and United XR. We as builders get direct access to investors that where we can pitch our product. Like that is absolutely crazy.
Nice.
And we get like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
like
shout out to Ori.
Yeah,
for
thank
putting
you,
this
Ori.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was pitching Infini on stage, and then after the investor during the investor like roundtable, every investor's like, "This is awesome! Like this is who you should talk to. This is awesome! Like apply to this." And it's just like it's honestly unbelievable the amount of opportunity that is out there if you ask for it.
Exactly.
If you don't ask for
go
it,
there and
yeah.
ask for it. I think that is the critical part.
Yeah.
Like, don't stay passive. Don't be like, oh yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah.
Don't stay passive. Like, just build and like just go out with whatever you have built. I think
Yeah, it's
that
great.
concludes it really well, actually.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I mean, we talked 40 minutes. I mean, I have like, so much.
Awesome.
I have like so much more that I can talk about. But really, I think that the key takeaways are build something, keep building it, keep polishing it, talk to people. I think that is like going out to the community, build in public. That is like my biggest secret. Share about it online, and have a good trailer to share also, and have a good project, and really like jump from milestone to milestone to milestone. That's a new thing that I learned from me today. That is like so helpful. Just kind of like chaining those things together. And yeah, I mean, now kind of like first of all, follow this guy. Of course, like Tejas, your LinkedIn, we can link it here later on, or any other platform. Our stuff as well, we do these shows weekly now. Very looking forward to this one, seeing how this can grow into something very meaningful. And now I would like to open it up for questions. I don't know at this time. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of things. There's some chat stuff going on. So everybody, let's open it for Q&A for a little bit freestyle as well, and then we can just see what questions to answer. And looking forward to hearing this. Ah, there's some. Ashra, you can just highlight those questions if you want. Oh yeah, 1 second. For Q&A, do you believe XR today is a stable long-term career path globally, or does it require a parallel skill strategy to manage industry risks? It's a very good question. You want to go, or should I?
Please.
Okay. Let me see. So one thing I talk about actually is you generally want to skill stack anyway. So you want to build multiple skills independent whether you work in XR, AI, or any other technology or any other industry. So I think like having these skills is not really bound to a specific technology or industry. So simple example, if you're like a programmer, you could be a programmer in XR, you can be a designer in XR, but there's like still a lot of skills you can learn. Like, I mean, simple example, we talked about the video editing, the packaging, building a brand online, doing other things, learning about sales, marketing, for example. Like there's like so many skills you can stack. I think that is like one way that makes you very universally strong, basically, and also kind of more independent. And the other thing is like, okay, one thing that I see also, I think you briefly touched upon on this, is combining XR with something. I mean, XR with AI, of course, kind of obvious, but then XR in some other industry. You can. That's what we do at XRCC. We have like XR plus some industry, so you can have XR applied to automotive, XR applied to fashion. So like I would not see XR in isolation, to be honest, because that can be uncertain and risky. But I think if you think about, okay, how can this be a tool to solve a real problem in this industry? Ideally, some industry you are either passionate about or you have a lot of experience, ideally both, where you are your own target audience, like you did for Infini with the music. I think that is one way that can be actually very helpful. Anything you want to add?
Oh my God, that was a great response. I'm trying not to repeat that any of those points. The way I think about XR right now, and Dinesh, I want to get your thoughts on this. Is almost like being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like if you were to
100%.
like switch that XR to, if you believe entrepreneurship today is a stable long-term path globally, I'm like, I mean, there are successful entrepreneurs, of course, but I mean, is it stable?
Yeah.
You know. And so what I think of like my own career path, I think of two specific things. I think of trends and I think of accelerants.
Yeah.
A trend is something that's high, but might go down later. And accelerants are sort of those things that will almost like raise your foundational like understanding of the medium, which happens to be XR. And so like one example that you definitely touched on is like UX design and like just like design principles. So I'm a programmer, so if I just sit in my code all day, it's hard for me to understand how someone might use it. But when I learn about design principles, for example, I know there's a lot there to impact. That's probably a different talk. Like it will accelerate the way you code and the way you develop. And so I think focusing on what you think might be accelerants and trends is more helpful for you. And it's very, very personal, but that's where I think of when I think of opportunities that I can want to invest in. Think trends and accelerants.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Any other questions? Let's see. Oh yeah. When entering a new country or market, how should someone realistically evaluate the maturity and demand of the XR industry before committing to it as a career? And I would love to hear challenges. I'm not sure what you mean exactly by that, but I would love to hear challenges. So it's a bit difficult to. Do you mean entering a new market as an entrepreneur, or like you moving to a new country? Let me just see. I will try to give a overall answer to this one. So I would say that committing to it as a career, yeah. So I think like here, really touching upon the first point, learn the foundational skills in XR, of course, whether design or programming, and then build kind of like your skill stack. Okay, you know programming, you know game engines, you know this part, you know this part, you know this part, and then also building online helps you a lot already to kind of like stabilize the career path a little bit. And then I think the critical or most important part is if you go somewhere, try to join local events if there are any. If there are none, then it's even a big opportunity for you to create those. I think that's also fantastic because that will help you to, in this new market or like in this new country, to really kind of like set foot and meet the right people as fast as possible. I don't know if you would now move to Boston, for example, like it would be no brainer to come here to MIT Reality Hack, or if you're some other place, if you're in Berlin, come to XRCC, etc. So I think that's maybe like a good enough answer without being 100% sure in what the question is. Yeah.
Yeah, almost echoing that, like, um, there, I think after COVID happened, there are so many more online events in the XR industry, in the gaming industry, in like the creative market industry. And so being part of those when you can, they're online, they're usually, whether it's a lecture, whether it's like a game jam or something similar, or even a hackathon, just like almost test it out for yourself. Like try it out, see what you do like and see what you don't like, and then focus on what you do like. And maybe there's a certain part of XR, not the entire field, but a certain part of XR that you really like. Maybe it's like data analysis in the XR industry or something like that for, I don't know, people wearing headsets or ergonomics. I have no idea. But like just try different things, explore, and then understand what you do and don't like. And I think that is for me at least, has helped a lot in understanding where I want my career to go, because then I know what I'm good at and what I like, and I overlap those two things to create like financial and economic stability for myself.
Yeah, 100% agree. Cool. I think there's not too many more questions. I guess the hackers are hacking probably. But the cool thing is, which is good. But the cool thing is now again, like with this new format, we will turn this into an actual YouTube video, like with a bunch of graphics, and like when he's talking about Infini, we can show like the B-roll on top of it and everything. Much more kind of like with a lot of enhancements, let's say, and effects and everything. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Very looking forward to really improve this every single week. Now, dude, you're the first guest on the show. How does it feel?
I'm so honored, honestly.
It's like accidentally becoming a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. Like honestly, it should be a podcast. Or I don't know. I feel you have a lot to say. There's so many awesome people in the community, and this is a good start.
Yes, absolutely. Really looking forward to this. Yo, what's up, man? Oh, 1 second.
Oh hey, how's it going?
Dude, I will see you in 2 hours, actually. Awesome, guys. Then thank you so much. Really looking forward to this. And yeah, thank you as well. And then I will see you all soon and have a wonderful week and a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.